Hello and welcome. Um, I was trying to figure out how to review this without spoiling a whole lot, and I decided, you know what? This is a 30-year-old comic. Who cares? Who cares at this point? We're going to spoil some stuff. But Superman, the Man of Steel, issue 22. This is the 13th part of the Reign of the Superman story. We got this kind of cardboard stock cover. It's die cut. You're like, what? It's die cut? Yeah, right here. Uh huh. You open it up, boom, and there's steel waiting for you. I love this gimmick. This is pretty good. It's not as good as that Wolverine comic where he's got the slashes across. That is the most excellent die cut cover ever. Also, here's the Man of Steel is back. Now, of course, this is all about steel. Literally, the Man of Steel. And the story opens. He's talking to these kids. He's telling them the story of John Henry, which is setting stuff up. And then he tells them, "Hey, go home, kids." And immediately, drive by shooting. Now, this isn't like, oh, yeah, a Superman book. We got like criminals doing super stuff, they're robbing a bank or whatever. No, this is like some real world crazy stuff that actually happens. Now, yeah, they are using like this super gun that makes a sound, kroom, which I like it when it hits. But it's real crime. This is real life, especially in the 90s. I haven't looked at crime statistics in a long time, but this was considered to be like epidemic back then. The nightly news would breathlessly cover this kind of stuff. So this gang just killed this kid right here. And Steele, even though he's just a man, ain't going to stand for it, which sends him to the hospital, where we get an origin story here. How Superman saved him while he was trying to save somebody else. It's good stuff, and it all leads to him thinking, how can I pay Superman back? How the world doesn't have Superman. If Superman was here, he could have saved the kid. Fine, I'll do it myself. Yeah, he goes to build his own super suit. Now, at this point, I don't remember when I was flipping through this knowing that this guy was John Henry Irons. But he puts the suit together, and bam, he looks good. He looks good. The story, really, there's a big inflection point in the story, and it's on that page I showed you where he's posing in the armor, and it happens right around the midpoint where this pull-out poster is. So before that, the story is kind of building and building because this is an origin story. It's just kind of like here's an info dump, and then it makes you hold your breath because just a page later, this dude is like stalking the guys that killed the kid. He's busting them up. He's beating them up. He's gonna arrest him. He's taking him into custody in his super suit, man. In his super suit. All right, this is dope. I had so much fun reading this. It was just like, what am I reading? There's some drama stuff that occurs. There's like some conspiracy stuff. There's this figure introduced who might have been introduced earlier in these, but I don't have all the Rated Superman books called the White Rabbit. That's the one supplying all the guns to everybody. But man, this was a pretty intense book once it got rolling. I like the art. It looks perfectly fine. The coloring's a little muddy looking in the regular pages. I think that's kind of an intentional choice, showing like the grit and dirt of the world without Superman, of the world where inner city crime, where drive-bys can happen. Another thing, so I went into this not really knowing Steel. I was trying to think like, was the last times I saw Steel, and it's like three times in the last 10 years. Once was in the DC animated movies that cover this plotline that released like a year ago. They were like January of last year, and then like the December for it or something. I actually did I watch this in the theater? No, I saw the trailers in the theater when they did that Superman 40th anniversary thing. You might remember that. That was awesome. See, that in the theater was amazing. So I went into this thinking, okay, Steel's kind of boring because he's kind of boring in that. And then it's like, okay, what else do I remember Steel? Well, I remember there was a comic somewhere around 10 years ago, probably like pre New 52, where there was a bunch of supermen, a bunch of super Kryptonians. Let's go with that. A bunch of Kryptonians, and they were trapped in like some spatial labyrinth with Doomsday, and he was there. And I read like one issue of that, and it's kind of like, what? What? And he was just there. I don't remember him being amazing. In fact, I remember Supergirl being more amazing. Now that may be unfair, and I may be misremembering, but that's my impression. And then there was like that other Reign of the Superman issue I saw where he like tangles with Superboy for like 2 panels or something. And that's my impression of Steel from the last decade. Now before that, I've never seen the movie where he's played by Shaquille O'Neal, but I'm told he doesn't actually play like Superman. Like that, none of that story is there. He's just this dude who invents a suit. Um, so I remember seeing like the trailer for that. That's pretty much my impression of Steel. It's not a very good one. After reading this, I'm like, dude, this guy's kind of cool. He's tortured by the things he's done in the past. He wants to make amends. He wants to atone. He wants to live up to the legacy of Superman. He wants really to reflect the symbol, which I think is pretty cool. I think that's pretty great. And by the time I got done reading this, I liked Steel. So if you have not read Reign of the Supermen, I keep reading bits and pieces of it, and it keeps being great every time, even though I'm reading it out of context, out of order, out of everything like that. So it must be really good. That's all I can conclude. You all have a great day, great night, great whatever you got going on. I sure hope to see you again next time. Until then, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and bye-bye.